or not should be addressed because, they are putting themselves on the line here, seeking the government's attention. But let's not start off with that. Let's start off with what we have going on those states. We all know that the elections are forthcoming. Saturday is just tomorrow, right? And the governor of the state had mentioned that Friday would be a public holiday. And a lot of back and forth has been going on, especially about the Ondo gubernatorial elections. And we're going to start off with all of the allegations flying everywhere. And then I'll get your opinion as to what you think would happen come Saturday for the Ondo elections. And then you talk to me about what you feel election style should be like here in the country. But let's start off with what the APC have said, or supposed allegation on the PDP. And then we'll move on from there. All right. This is from the Punch newspaper, and on the election, APC PDP trade words over importation of thugs, which apparently seems to be the order of the day whenever we're talking about elections. I mean, there's always the back and forth allegations about who is going to be employing federal might or who wouldn't be, who would be intimidated, victimized, and who wouldn't be. I mean, it's just like a tug of war of the oppressor and the oppressed. But then 3 days before the governorship election in Ondo State, the All Progressive Congress in the state has accused the People's Democratic Party of planning to rig the poll. Now, the ruling party, in a statement by its publicity secretary, Mr. Alex Kalejaye, alleged that the PDP was planning something criminal to be unveiled during election. According to the statement, the rigging plan was allegedly masterminded by Governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, who the APC alleged to have recruited thousands of members on the line. The supposed chairman for the PDP, that's the governor of Oyo State, according to the APC, is supposed to have been recruiting thousands of members of PDP in Oyo State for the purpose of participating in the election. Now, it reads partly, the member of the Oyo State chapter of the PDP with their voters card are to vote in Ondo election with the connivance of some staff of the Independent National Electoral Commission. The essence is to increase the PDP votes through their criminal angle, which many of these imported voters are already scattered in local government areas of the state. More are expected on Friday. But the spokesperson for the Eitayo Jegede campaign organization, Mr. Benga Akimoyo, alleged that it was the APC that imported thugs from Ekiti State to disrupt the election on Saturday. Akimoyo said the hoodlums are currently being loaded into commercial vehicles from Ado-Ekiti Motor Park as we speak. Security agencies should be vigilant and monitor vehicular movements in Ondo State. Now, this same activity has been happening with influences from Kogi State, and organizations have given incessant notice on this. Let the security agencies be on top of the matter. That's coming from the PDP now, debunking and refuting what the APC had earlier speculated for them, or to be their own doing. Now, you remember on Sunday when I talked about the Ondo State elections, and I mentioned that certain media, outlets have been able to carry out opinion poll, get to talk to a lot of people, get to hear their reasons or their reasoning towards the Ondo State election, the forthcoming election. And a lot of persons or the electorates were saying that they probably wouldn't be out there voting because they feel and they sense that on that day it would be excess of violence. I mean, coming out from what is going on between the APC, the PDP, and the ZLP, which we wouldn't forget to put in the mix now. And then today, or yesterday, we got the report from the APC about the PDP organizing and bringing in people from Oyo State or pretend to be, indigents in Ondo State so that they can vote. And now the question is, why do we always have to make election this rigorous? Why does it always have to be very rigorous? I mean, first of all, there is the whole issue and tension of the president having endorsed the sitting government, which is Akeredolu of the APC. And people are saying that as long as the president has endorsed him, then probably he would be employing federal might into bringing in federal might into the election and probably be influencing the results of elections. And now you would wonder, does this encourage people? Does this encourage anybody, at least the Ondo State indigents, to come out and vote en masse? I mean, seeing all of this that is going on, can we not have elections where, I mean, I felt to an extent the debate, the gubernatorial election debates that they had in the state was quite, calm and somewhat coordinated. And I would expect that the follow-up from followership, from parties, and from positioning of the different political parties and their candidates would be as calm as it were. But then that seemed not to be the issue. So what do we expect come Saturday for Ondo State? Are we looking at a situation where there would be intimidation? Are we looking at a like replay or replica of what we saw in Edo State? At least to an extent, there was record of, peace and free and fair elections. A lot of persons speculate or even say that the elections for Edo State were free and fair, even though that's not the common thought, because the APC had come out to debunk that one. But then again, in Ondo State, do we see a replica of what happened in Edo State happen there? Do we think that everything will pan out right? Are we looking at a situation where we would be looking at thuggery? We would have too many security operatives there who would have to ward off bad elements. And afterwards, with the presence of certain security operatives during elections, the common cry after the election would be that the security operatives used as tools in the hands of the winning party to rig or to intimidate voters, which of course is not necessary. So what do you expect? What do you think about the soon coming election for Ondo State and all of the allegations flying? Do you see peaceful elections coming? Do you see the people really having their votes count? And do you see some sort of decorum and a replica of what happened in Edo State? But moving on from there now, let's talk about also the PDP rejecting the OAU Vice Chancellor. I didn't mention that, but I think I should just put this now in the mix. Although he has been reportedly removed or not even used, because according to INEC, they haven't given the name for the person who would be the commissioner there. So I do feel that at least that would soothe the PDP. That would suit the PDP now. So let's move on to something else, something that seems to be the rave of the moment as well, which is the issue with the 2021 budget. Now, the president ended his presentation on the budget yesterday. A lot of persons have their complaints about several allocations, which of course we would be talking about, and that's the reason why I'm bringing it up now. But I will be giving you several takeaways from the 2021 budget presentation to the National Assembly. President Muhammad Buhari says he remains committed to lifting 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in the next 10 years, despite the COVID-19, the pandemic, and what have you. He still remains committed, and let's see how that goes for him. And the early presentation of the budget, for me, would be a plus anyway. But then the president reaffirmed this commitment while presenting the 2021 budget at the joint session of the National Assembly termed Budget of Economic Recovery and Resilience. He said the 2021 budget contains only implementable projects, adding that ministers and heads of agencies have been mandated to be personally present for the budget events, which of course they were. And the president said his administration was able to improve infrastructure across the country, especially the construction of rail lines, and will consolidate on that achievement in the next fiscal year with government's concentration on power. Among others, the president said the 2021 budget for the Niger Delta Development Commission, that's the NDDC, and the Presidential Amnesty Office is to sustain government's focus on the Niger Delta and to ensure the completion of abandoned projects in the region. Now, with all stated, of course, I will be giving you how much really that we put into all of the budgeting, right? Now, the president ended his presentation with the concern that revenue generation to fund annual budgets have been the greatest challenge being faced by his administration. Question one, have we not been talking about the issue of revenue generation as a nation, from whether federal, state, and local government? Have we been able to see enough efforts put in by all three tiers of government to see how we can boost revenue generation to fund our budgets or fund whatever federal, state, or even local needs that we may have? Have we been able to put our states readily available for investorship, foreign investors to come in and also boost our GDP? I mean, that's the question we should be asking, because we can't keep coming up here and talking about the challenges of finances in the country and in this administration. And then there is little or nothing being done by whether the state government or the local government in tandem with the federal government. But now back to the budget. The 2021 budget is proposed at 13 trillion naira. Now, the president has assured that all the projects in next year's budgets are implementable. There are a lot of talking points in the budget, including the 128 billion naira budget for the National Assembly. Now, let me give you a breakdown, right, of what this budget would be. Maybe some takeaway. Now, the 2021 budget term, the budget of economic recovery and resilience is expected to accelerate the pace of Nigeria's economic recovery, promote economic diversification, enhance competitiveness, and ensure social inclusion. Now, here's some takeaways, right? The president, during presentation, said the 2021 appropriation bill is designed to further deliver on the goal of country's economic stability plan, which provides a clear roadmap for post-coronavirus economic recovery, a transition plan to take us from the economic recovery and growth plan of 2021 to 2025. Now, that's coming from the president. The benchmark oil price is projected at $40 per barrel, with daily oil production estimates of 1.86 million barrels, inclusion of condensate of 300,000 to 400,000 barrels per day. Now, the exchange rate of 379 naira per US dollar, GDP growth projected at 3.0%, and inflation closing at 11.95%. Oil revenue is projected at 2.01 trillion naira, and non-oil revenue is estimated at 1.47 trillion naira. Now, in the proposed 2021 budget, right, the total revenue available to fund the 2021 federal budget is estimated at 7.886 trillion. This includes the grants and aids of 354.85 billion naira, as well as the revenues of 60 government-owned enterprises. Now, let's skip all of this. I think it's important anyway, but then you should just... if you have a phone, you could just check it out, and then you see the breakdown as well. But this is where we're going to, right? We're moving down to the Niger Delta Development Commission, slated for 63.51 billion naira. Northeast Development Commission at 29.70 billion naira. National Judicial Council at 110 billion naira. Universal Basic Education Commission at 70.05 billion naira. Independent National Electoral Commission at 40 billion naira. National Assembly at 128 billion naira. Public Complaints Commission 5.20 billion naira. Basic Healthcare Provision Fund 35.03 billion naira. Debt servicing for the 2021 budget has provision of 3.12 trillion, representing the increase of 445.57 billion naira from the 2.68 trillion naira in 2020. And it goes on and on and on and on and on. But I think I've hit the point where I wanted to talk about, which is the National Assembly. And the bulk of interest have been in the money being allocated to this particular institution, which is the National Assembly. Right? Now, what is your take with the current budget, the 2021 budget, right? Do you think that since we've been on the path or on the talk for long now about how we can make sure we make do with more functional institutions in the country and cut down on redundant and unnecessary institutions so that we can sector about a 65% increase in the budgetary allocation for the education sector for the first time. Now, what is your take with all of this? Now, 128 billion naira for the National Assembly. And one would ask, why? What exactly? Because we're trying to be very economical, right, here. And then we're trying to see how we can put monies into other sectors or allocate monies into other things such as basic health, education, maybe even the diversification plan in agriculture, steel and mining. We're also working on that, hoping that by 2021, which is the promised time, I think we should have already started mining some of this gold old and what have you. That's what the president had said, I think, 2 months ago. And we also got mentioned somehow that the Ajokuta steel will be up and running by 2021. So a lot of this money should be put into certain things that would boost infrastructural, development and growth. But that's just a thinking out loud opinion of me there. What do you think? What is your take on all of this? What do you make of the budget? Do you think it's good enough? Do you think that they should be a go ahead with this particular one, looking at each slated allocation? Or do you think that maybe there should be some breakdown and sit down talks to see how they can reallocate and re-enumerate certain sectors and see which institution gets a lesser allocation? Just what is your take on that particular one? And do not forget again that on the second half of the show, we'll be talking about something quite interesting. I mean, it's the rave of the moment. If you go on social media, what seems to be trending is this particular issue about the NSAS, the hashtag NSAS campaign that is going on. A lot of protests kicking off already. I mean, we see that happening in Lagos, Abuja, Imo. I can't remember which other states, but then I think I also heard today that the River State is planning its own campaign, the hashtag NSAS. And then we will be looking at why is it taking so long, at least, to have the government address these people. That's what we'll be looking at, but that's for the second half. But for now, let me get your opinion on everything being railed out, and let's get to talk for the development of the country. We've talked about the budget, and we've talked about the back and forth and the accusations of the PDP and APC in Ondo State and the forthcoming election in Ondo State. To get in the conversation and air your views, the phone lines are open: 0817 0000951 or 0810-9510951. And do not forget to send in your text messages or WhatsApp messages to the number 0701-9339-962. 95.1 FM, good afternoon to you.
Hello, Wes. This is Hart calling from Awada West.
You're welcome, Hart. Please go on.
Wes, when we talk of economic recovery, APC refused to recover our economy. 2015 budget, 2016 budget, 2017 budget, 2018 budget, 2019 budget, 2020 budget. This 13 trillion naira for 2021 budget, which is the one you don't do. This APC have failed this country.
That's entirely your opinion anyway. But we're not talking about whether they failed the country or not. We're talking about where this money is going to, especially the issue with the National Assembly. That's just where I want to narrow it down so that we don't have issues with people who like the PDP and have the backs of the APC.
Okay, you are. Let me tell you, this 2021 budget, for me, because I've already seen the sign since 2015.
What's the sign?
I don't think good results will come out from it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for that one. 95.1 FM.
Yes, Mr. John from Port Harcourt.
You're welcome, Mr. John.
Yes, I want to talk about the Ondo election.
All right, please go ahead.
Accusation and the counter accusation.
Mm-hmm.
You see, it's very unfortunate that each time election is coming up, you keep hearing such accusation, especially from a particular party. They keep, giving unverified allegations.
I think it's not even a particular party thing; it's all party thing.
But it's more of from that party I'm talking about. Now look at the accusation that they have appointed a VC from the town of the governor.
I mean,
and we all know that such appointment is done outside the state. They don't bring any VC with just as INEC have replied them. They are just preparing a ground so that if they now fail,
they have an excuse.
They will now give an excuse. We said it that time now. They brought a man from the governor's town. All right, then. Which is not true. It's not fair. This party is becoming an embarrassment to Nigeria. And again, let me talk about the budget. You see, our budget, I'm very happy with the way the budget is. For the first time, education has a very high, percentage, unlike what it used to be. And some people will want to argue, what have they done with other budgets that have been coming? If Nigeria had been utilizing their budget very well since 1960, Nigeria would have been Dubai by now. We had a president from this region, Goodluck Jonathan. What did he do with budget for 6 years? Why is this place still underdeveloped?
All right, then.
So it's not, people should know how to, channel the argument. And when are we going to talk about River State budget?
I think, all right, it's fine. We will talk about the River State budget again. But thank you very much, Mr. John. Something just caught my eye, and I seem to have skipped it. I don't know how. This is coming from Peter Obi, who has managed to always be in the news. I think yesterday and day before yesterday, he had one or two things to say. And today he's saying that Nigerian politicians fighting over a collapsed structure. Peter Obi has said politicians breaking heads in the struggle to be in control of affairs of Nigeria will soon discover that what they are struggling over is an empty shell, as the entire structure the country is built upon is collapsing. The warning came from the former governor of Anambra State, that's Peter Obi, who on Wednesday bemoaned the policy situation in the country, warning that the road the leadership was taking was not in danger, but would lead to a dead end if not predicted. He took the opportunity to, I think I'll skip all of that and blah, blah, blah. But then let's focus on his statement as to Nigerian politicians clamoring or fighting over a collapsed structure. Now, first of all, I don't want to sound as though I'm trying to be the devil's advocate here, but he is also a politician, isn't it? Now, I'm thinking that he would have associates or he would have friends who are in that political circle. And if he shares this idea, it would mean that maybe half of them would also share the same idea or sentiments. Now, what have they been able to change the system or change the structure from collapsing? Is the question. Individually, as a group, as a party member, I mean, he belongs to the PDP, isn't it? The PDP had been in power at some point. What has this political... I'm talking about all political parties now, because they all seem to be switching at one point to or another into different political parties together. So the question is, what have they done other than come out to tell us that they've seen a crack in the wall, or they've seen that our structures are not strong enough, our structures are gullible and vulnerable and, are prone or is prone to collapse? Now, what have they done so far to change the narrative is the question, because we all know this. I mean, we've been talking about the structure, we've been talking about the system for years now, months. Everybody keeps to talk about the system and the structure in the country. But then really, what have we been able to do or put in place to change this gloomy future as we all posit or have all, predicted in the long run? 0817-000951 or 0810-9510-951. 95.1 FM, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Wells.
Good afternoon.
I am Obina, the People's Choice.
You're welcome, Obina.
How are you, my friend?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm fine, my sister. Before I come to what Peter B said, the budget they passed yesterday, is a budget of poverty.
How is that a budget of poverty?
One, I think, remember Yemi Oshibanjo? It's coming out how many days ago to tell the whole world that Nigeria are hungry, they are poor.
Okay, but Obina,
yes,
that aside, right? Don't you think that this administration have done a lot in terms of infrastructural development? I mean, for the past years they've been in office.
Sister, let me tell you the truth. If I should tell you one thing they have done that I am seeing that maybe they just want to favor their boys, is this an MC to Boko Haram?
No. That would be very wrong. They're working.
They are not working anything. This one, I'm going from here to... There is this politics they're playing. Look at Ogoni cleanup. Look at this other second ladder bridge. Everything.
I'm sure you listen to High Prep on radio and you hear the amount of progress being done.
What is going on there? Let somebody from Ogoni call you to tell you what is going on there.
The person who is doing the High Prep show, where do you think he's from?
Sister, this government is built on that life. Let them come out and tell the whole world the truth, what is going on. Not passing budget. We are not seeing anything. People are more refugees. They create more refugee camps. to make more money.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much,
Obina. Yemi is there telling us what is going on, that the world is right. Let them arrange it. They start criticizing him.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much, Obina. I think I get your points there. But the truth of the matter is that let's judge this based on the amount or the different administrations we've had so far. It hasn't just been the APC. For how long have we had the APC? We've had other political parties such as the PDP. So have we seen any reasonable change since then up till now? Have we seen any transitioning in terms of development? That's how we're supposed to judge this. 95.1 FM. Anybody home? All right, let's move on to the next person. 95.1 FM.
Hello, yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, my name is Engineer Victor. I'm calling from Rumolumini.
You're welcome, Engineer Victor.
Yes, just like the last caller was just telling you, Obina. See, honestly, this administration, the number one name that I will call them is they are full of deceit. I am telling the simple truth.
How is that?
Look at the East-West Road, where all the West come from now.
But do we not also see that still in this administration, there was the all-time low of oil sales and there was also the coronavirus?
Allow me to talk first.
I'm letting you talk, but I'm asking you questions.
Exactly the way Jonathan walked that road reached today, that is how the road is now. Nothing has been done there. Amechi, our Minister of Transportation, was shouting about Orubebe is using the road to play politics, that he don't want to do this road. That our brother cannot do the road. The one that is not our brother is the one that will do the road. Now we have the one that is not our brother. The road is just lying down like that. I just came back from Patani how many days ago? Nothing is going on in East-West Road. That is where the west of this nation comes from. I am not happy. Honestly, they are marginalizing the people of Niger Delta, and this elected this stop the once and for all. Thank you.
All right. 95.1 FM.
Well, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm Mr. Bright from Romeo.
You're welcome, Mr. Bright.
Yes. We listen to radio. In my shop where I'm sitting now, there is a Nigerian movie being shown on TV. Mm-hmm. But I muted it to listen to you. If people can make their opinion and then support it, we will be glad. But not somebody would call and say, this is a budget of poverty. And you could not even press for the person to just give a reason based on the figures you read out. And at the end of the day,
Mr. Bright,
thank you very much.
Mr. Bright, it is his opinion, right? I have read out everything included in the budget. And now if he feels that this administration is not doing justice with the budget, then it is his opinion. But let me get yours now. And
giving opinion, I've never reacted to anybody's statement. But
okay, then let's move on now.
Watch your program by 4 p.m. yesterday. You just give room that people come on radio, make just nasty comments, and we say it's opinion without any reason to portray opinion. Is that how people lead opinion?
All right, Mr. Bright, is that all?
That's so. That is on that side. Please do well to just guide us on how, if we are making opinion. Now, somebody mentioned East-West Road. There is a serious work going on the East-West Road. Maybe you do not know, and he does not know, and he has tested that information, and people are going to buy by that information. We listen to radio to learn. I've been listening to radio from Radio Nigeria, Nugu, IBC Owerri, BC Umahia, Radio Rivers when the
all right, Mr. Bright. All right, Mr. Bright. All right, Mr. Bright.
Listen to other radio stations today. People don't do these things they do on your show.
All right, Mr. Bright. Are you going to talk about what we're talking about, or that's all you called for? All right, then. Lost that one as well. Keep the calls coming in 0817 0000951 or 0810 9510 951. Remember, if you're calling in, I'm letting you express your opinion, right? People call in and say that they don't see what the budget is used for, or the allocation or the budgetary allocation is used for, right? It is in their own opinion. 95.1 FM. Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Wealth.
Yes, good afternoon. Your name and where you're calling from?
I'm Congo.
You're welcome. Please go on.
Yeah. You see, I don't know why people are not rational while speaking over the air. But let me tell you, Are they talking of the past or this present one now that they have just said? Let us watch out. If the past does not offer us anything, let's look into this. We are not in the administration. You see, we are gradually built up and created. Nobody leads to the expectation of others. Even if another person comes in now, that person clamor will continue to clamor.
Mm-hmm.
The budget we are talking about is also in the making, and it has not been in use. So what we do now is take record and know how justifiable that money will be used. And people have not even seen anything. They have started complaining. And look at what the last caller has just said now. There is a very good work going on the East-West Road. And somebody will travel from Choba to Port Harcourt begin to complain. I don't understand people. So my sister, let me talk on the election.
All right, please go on.
Thank you, my sister. You see, on the election, I believe personally that what transferred in Edo will as well transfer that. That's free and fair election. The APC that I know does not rig election.
Okay.
So I'm not saying that the man at the helm of affairs now is good. But if you are to brothers whom I know, we will sit on the road and have the person to call it back.
So apparently you're saying that there would be no show of federal might for the Ondo state elections. All right then. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your thank you very much for your contribution there. 95.1 FM. Good afternoon to you.
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon.
Hello, Canada. It's Noble.
You're welcome, Noble. Please go on.
Canada, do you remember the last time First Lady of the country went to clinic in the Asolo? Do you remember what he said?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember? So he complained about it. There is no vaccine there. But they are budgeted for it. The money was massive for it. So, where was the money? Who ate the money? East West Road people are talking about. East West Road. Last year, their budget for it, since the Buhari took over, East West Road have been in the budget.
But you also remember Fashola talking about the fact that certain federal roads that were given out to contractors rather were not paid for, right? You remember that some of these contractors have not been able to get all of their funds. That's why there's a slow pace of development on the federal roads, isn't it?
He can tell me that because they will come to defend themselves. There is no way you will budget for something. You won't give them the money. So the money they're borrowing, where are you using it for?
The budgets are to be funded by monies and proceeds from revenues. So when the revenue is not forthcoming, or when something has affected the GDP or the growth of the economic outlook for that particular year, then maybe we might not see the speedy disbursement of those funds.
Okay, maybe for the East West Road, there is no money to budget for it or to send for them, but there is money to do the railway from Nigeria to Niger. You know what you're trying to tell me? There is money to do railway from north, work in northern roads, but our own side, nothing to do about it.
But is there no work being done currently on these roads? Even the one, the federal road, I think the Aba Expressway and everything. I think that's still ongoing.
It's still ongoing. We need to see something. It's not ongoing. Maybe. Are you not aware that is some abandoned works? Then you will do small things, then swallow the money, then the time is ongoing.
Well, until we see the administration come to an end, and then probably all the monies that were sent in or budgeted for those particular areas are not used, then we can come up with this conclusion. Because for me, especially the one at the Aba Expressway, I think it's still ongoing. So you cannot say because it is slow and steady, it means that they're not doing anything. So that's it. I mean, we shouldn't just conclude on that particular one. 95.1 FM.
Yes, well, good afternoon.
You're welcome.
Ebi is my name.
You're welcome, Ebi.
I think you are going to have a very difficult time trying to tell us what is ongoing and what is not ongoing. Because the Aba road you are talking about, for how many years? And then we are not talking about...
But currently, construction is ongoing. I think I implied that way some days back.
Can you hold on for me?
Yes, please go on.
We are not talking about the road being constructed from Aba to Port Harcourt. We are talking about ongoing from Obibo, not in Obibo here. I was talking to Eleme Junction for close to 5 years. And you sit down there to tell me ongoing?
When did they start the construction on that road? Because if I remember correctly, what I remember is that I saw them, actually working on that place some 2 years ago. Yes.
You are not correct.
No. I mean actual construction, which is still ongoing.
Well, you are not really prepared to pay attention. That's just the problem. I am telling you that it's not correct. That road you are seeing was awarded by Goodluck Jonathan and this government came, and from 2016, work has been on that road from 2016. Go and confirm it. So for that 4 years, we are still doing ongoing. That is from Obibo.
But is there no progress on that particular road? Is the question.
Is that what?
Is there no progress? Are you not seeing the progress?
Now, when we talk about progress, we have smell-like progress, and we have the progress of a cheaper. Which one are we looking at? Now, if you have been on the construction of a road from Obibo to Eleme Junction, and in 4 years you have not been able to reach Eleme Junction, how many flyovers? For instance, now, I'm not a supporter of the River State governor, mind you. But the same people who are calling you to quarrel with you now that you allow somebody to criticize the government have been criticizing Wike, and in less than 3 years, Wike has constructed how many flyovers?
Now, let me ask a question. Now, you also remember that I said that Fashola had mentioned that certain funds were not disbursed immediately to contractors of this road. So I do think that whenever we're talking about this road construction, oh dear, I lost you there. Whenever we're talking about this road constructions, we should also put into mind the funds being disbursed for the construction and how far, if all the monies are given to contractors, don't you think that those roads would have been completed by now? I mean, the pace of work is dependent on what they have available, isn't it? 95.1 FM.
Yes, what may your days be lovely?
Good afternoon, Prince Andy.
Yes, afternoon. Well, ordinarily I wouldn't have joined issues with anybody because as we speak now, time will not permit me to give you the rundown of what this present administration has done marvelously for Nigerians. But it will not be correct. That is the impression I'm here to create. It will not be correct for anybody to say a government that came to power for 5 years did not do anything. It will never be correct. And, there are so many wrongs that the previous administration for 16 years has done to Nigerians. See, if you had a dirty clothes, it will take you time to finish it than the person who just have to. I mean, this government is not only rehabilitate, they are not only doing refining, they are equally implementing projects, different places. Okay, let's assume they didn't even do anything. What of the teachers, whatever they have just implemented now, what teachers have been fighting since 1990, they just implemented. What of the increment of the NYC? And many more. Time will not permit. I will give you many more wrong done. You're going to clean up. We had a brother now who was there for 6 years, and he did not do anything but go there. Even if it is on a slow pace, but something is going on. I mean, which place is it the seaport that they just approved? Which one are we going to talk? Which one are we going?
All right, Prince Andy.
Government are doing something, no matter how slow it is. But what we are saying, they should do more. We want more because people are suffering here. We need more, but let us equally encourage them for the ones they have already done. Thank you. That's my input.
All right. Thank you very much, Prince Andy. This one says, this text message says, good afternoon to you, lady presenter. I'm Iberin Joye from PH. What about the education aspect? What is the federal government doing about the ASU strike? Why is this? Well, for the ASU strike, I mean, you would know that, first of all, the federal government have been on supposed roundtable negotiations with ASU, and it seems like they're not coming on, they're not meeting at a common ground. That is the federal government and ASU. So I do think that on this case, the issue seems to be on the IPPIS and payment of salaries, which, of course, will hopefully be resolved. I mean, if I'm going by what Chris Ngige has said earlier, this one says nothing good. Okay. Okay. Talking about Biafra, and that's not what I'm talking about. This one says APC are the problem for now. I used to pay 500 naira transport in 2011 to 2015. Now, it's funny how you mentioned transport because, I mean, we all see what's going on, especially with the sales of oil. I mean, you won't tell me that you haven't heard, right? That oil hit its all-time low. I mean, all of these are things that we also have to, take into cognizance when we're talking about transportations and all of that. And then we also mentioned to you that there was the removal of subsidy, and I'm guessing that's where you missed it. Anyway, this one says, although election will be violence-free because the people are being fed up, losing faith on the greedy politicians that we have all over Nigeria. Nobody wants to drive for them. Budget presentation, my sister, we are in for another circle because it will have no positive impact on the people. And that's coming from Ben from Obuburo town. This one says, Wealth, go on. Okay, go on with your show. You cannot please the APC and PDP supporters. That's all I have to say. All right. This one says, Wealth, the road construction from Oyibo to Eleme Junction started 2 years ago. I live around there. I think I remember correctly that actual construction on that road started, some 2-3 years ago, if I remember correctly. And then it's still ongoing. It's still ongoing because I applied that way some 2-3 days ago, and then I still remember I saw them working on the road. So we can't say that because it is slow, then nothing is happening. 95.1 FM.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Please turn down the volume of your radio.
Okay. My name is Odinga, calling from Elimu.
All right, you're welcome.
Okay. In as much as this dragging of opinion between APC supporters and the other people continue to linger, but we cannot run away from the truth.
Which is?
The truth is that what they say they are doing is not very visible. This our side. Some people will say they are doing something, but somebody, APC supporter, deceive me sometimes. Say you can run from Port Harcourt to Enugu, you can sleep. But that day I was going to up north. Now I had to pass through that road. It was one of the scholars, I don't forget his name. So when I passed that side, it was a very bad experience. Does that mean? So they'll be talking over the way that they are doing it, but when you see on ground, you not see it. It's a political thing.
But the ones that they have mentioned so far.
But the rate of doing it now is not targeted at finishing it at a particular time.
Now, I think your grievance should be the rate or the pace at which these constructions are going on. Right?
Yes.
All right.
It's very obvious.
All right then.
Very obvious.
All right. Thank you.
And I know there's another thing I want to tell you. You keep making reference to the price of oil, but I want to tell you that this
reference to what?
The price of crude oil. Mm-hmm. It's not a factor because they are making up from borrowing. This present regime now, they have been making the highest budget ever. No regime that has hit the level of their budget. Now, so they're making up the low price of oil.
Now, hold on, right? The truth of the matter is that you don't just go collecting loans like that. It doesn't work that way. The actual plan and the dependence was on the revenue gotten from crude sales, isn't it? So if the crude hit an all-time low, it would adversely affect the budget, isn't it? That's where they... Oh, of course we'll get. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I thought you were down there. 95.1 FM.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Your name and where you're calling from?
Mr. Ben.
You're welcome, Ben.
Thank you. What I want to advise you is that you are not presenting this program like a journalist.
How do you mean?
I feel as if you are the Minister for Finance. You should learn how to cultivate yourself. It is not unfair. It's unfair for you, for a journalist, to behave like that.
How do you mean? How do you mean?
I've told you, you are always defended. You should be motivated.
If you are making, okay, I'm done with you. If you are making a statement, which of course I know it is wrong, I would correct you. So if that makes me a minister or an advocate for the government, then so be it. You can go off on that one. But you can't come up and tell me that, okay, they allocated money for the Aba Road and the East-West Road, and construction is ongoing, which of course you can see, and then you tell me that because it is slow-paced, then there is nothing going on. I would have to correct you. And if you don't like that, then I don't know what else you want. 95.1 FM.
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I calling from Port Harcourt.
What's your name, please?
My name is George.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I'm actually surprised at the way you...
in the government is stating what is there. Do we not see the construction actually ongoing? If it's not there, I won't say it.
The Aba Road, the road between Aba and between Lemek Junction and Aba. If I'm not even Aba is even far. Between Lemek Junction and Imo River. It has been on for the past 4 years, and yet nothing. You
can't say nothing. As I said, I applied that road, and I think they've almost gotten on the one lane to Intels, isn't it? So I think you all should just calm down on the insensitivity or probably your grievances on the administration. I would welcome if you tell me that yes, this administration probably isn't putting in enough effort as you would expect. I don't have a problem with that, but saying nothing is happening is where there's going to be an issue. 95.1 FM.
Hello, I greet you.
Yes.
I am Prince calling you from Agloma.
You're welcome. Please go on.
The truth of the matter is that the budget of last, let me use this word, last season, last year, which can they give account to that budget?
Account of what budget? The work on ground?
Yes. Can they give the account, an appropriate account of that particular budget?
In what way?
Government of Buhari,
in what way?
Account of that budget.
That things haven't been done or the allocated funds weren't sent out?
They are borrowing from China to India. I thought our budget is we are going to India or China to meet them for the budget money and get the money from them and use it for the work which they want to use and implement in Nigeria. You know one thing, this government, they are not trying. I don't know. Well, I thought they are fun.
All right. Now, let me clear something, right? You all know that this present administration has put in enough or some sort of attention to the power sector. I mean, if you remember all the investorship and all of the, contracts being signed and agreements being signed on power development, which of course the administration has said it would continue with. Right? And we also mentioned federal roads and even local roads that the federal government have even embarked on. See, the truth is, when you're calling in to talk about this administration, it's not like anybody's an advocate for this administration. You have to also tell me that, okay, you have seen what they've done in other regions, or it's not reaching this region as much as it can. I would appreciate your opinion on that one. But saying that there is nothing, absolutely nothing that you've seen happen, for me, it's a no-no. Because, we've had other administration before now. If they had done something, maybe we would also have something that we can leverage on and say that, you know what, this is how far they've gone. This administration did not do anything. So maybe all of the administrations are just the same. If you say there is a slow pace, fine. But if you say that there is nothing at all, then there is a problem, because that's, for me, a misinformation. 95.1 FM.
Yeah. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, I called back. Talking of suddenly, I was not even, and you were even talking when the line cut off.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I think we have issues. Most definitely, I'm sorry. What? Go on, please.
Yeah. Like I was saying, that road has been on for quite some years. And we applied that road, I applied that road every week. Oh, sorry, not every week, but almost every week. And the state of the road is terrible. And I don't think
what road? The East-West Road or the Aba Road?
The Aba Road. The Aba Road. It's terrible from Port Harcourt to Aba. So terrible. And that makes it difficult, movement so difficult. Well, I don't want to talk about that one much, but the truth is that I hear you talking about the fact that money was not disposed on must not be bought early enough. I wonder why money will not be disbursed early enough for work on a major road that links this area. And besides, a government every year, you talk about their budget. Why will budget be made every year based on borrowing? For the past how many years?
It's not based on borrowing. As I said, the main source of revenue to fund the budget is oil exportation, and non-oil revenue are also used to fund the budget. Now, we have other investments that we get loans for, which of course is true. There is no government or there is no country that doesn't fund most of its infrastructure or development from borrowing or loans. So I don't see why that is a problem.
It's a big problem because the rate of loan. Now, can you consider how much Nigeria is owing just within a space of 4 or 5 years?
Is there any country that isn't owing due to loans and debts?
Maybe you'll be happy if Nigeria is completely sold out by virtue of this borrowing.
He said sold out. Okay, I think that's how we end the first half of the show, because it's time for us to go for the news update. Do stay tuned. After the news update, today's hustle continues, the second half most definitely. And hopefully you all drop your sentiment and your sensitivity towards party issues and the different administration, and just focus on development in Nigeria.
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people. Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today 95.1 FM.
Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News update.
Good afternoon. Here is the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I am Wealth Wilson. A River State High Court sitting in Port Harcourt has sentenced the serial killer Gracious David West to death by hanging for the multiple murder of several women in hotels in different parts of the state. The trial judge, Justice Adolphus Enebili, in his judgment said Gracious David West should be hanged on his neck until he is dead, adding that the prosecution was able to prove their case beyond reasonable doubt with all the evidences and witnesses brought before the court. Justice Enebili based his judgment on voluntary statement and confession of David West, as well as the CCTV footage which was displayed during trial. Our correspondent Uchendu Ejowo reports that the court, however, discharged and acquitted the second defendant, Nimi Thangod, who was accused of dumping the remains of one of the victims of the serial killer in a dustbin, saying that the prosecution were not able to prove their case, that Thangod actually crime. Speaking to newsmen outside the courtroom, counsel to David West, Vincent Chukwu, hinted that the judgment may be appealed if given the go-ahead. On his part, State Prosecution Counsel Chidi Eke welcomed the judgment, which he said would serve as a deterrent to all those involved in such act. The leadership of the Port Harcourt zone of the Academic Staff Union of Universities have threatened to sanction ASU branches in universities that have lectures despite the ongoing nationwide strike by the union. In an interview with our correspondent Sandra Kenneth, the coordinator of the zone, Uzo Onyebina, said the letters of query will be sent to erring ASU branches. Uzo said the resumption of some branches of the union is in complete sabotage to the struggle of the union. It may interest you to know that academic activities have since resumed at the university, or the River State University rather, and the Ignatius Ajuri University of Education. The protest against police brutality and extrajudicial killings continued today, with young Nigerians occupying the entrance of Lagos State House of Assembly complex. The protesters, who spent the night at the entrance of the complex, demanded an immediate response and immediate disbandment of the special anti-robbery squad operatives. The youth decried harassment encountered in the hands of SARS operatives, lamenting the rate at which young creatives are being battered and killed by trigger-happy police officers. The lawmaker representing Surulere constituency, Desmond Elliott, during the discussion of the demands of the campaigners, said the SARS issue have gone beyond having hotlines and doing reforms. On his part, the Deputy Speaker in his contribution called on the Senate to institute a public probe on the extrajudicial killings of innocent Nigerian youths. On the foreign scene, the 2020 Nobel Prize have been awarded to the United Nations World Food Programme, WFP, for its efforts to combat hunger. The Norwegian Nobel Committee said that WFP had acted as a driving force in efforts to prevent the use of hunger as a weapon of war and conflict. The prize is worth $1.1 million. The WPF, which is 101st winner of the prize, said it was deeply humbled. 211 individuals and 107 organizations were nominated for the prize this year. The World Food Programme plays a key role in multilateral cooperability. Wash your hands frequently with soap on the running water. Avoid touching your face in high contact surfaces to prevent coronavirus. Once again, good afternoon. I am Wealth Wilson and thank you for listening. Do stay with us as today's hustle comes up next.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
This president's failed.
It's about the future of this country.
We're going to take it back. We're going to take it back.
You asked us to vote you into that position so you can bring about that
solution.
So when you vote me, then you sleep. Let me see if I can take another phone call. Hello, Today 95.1 FM. Good morning.
What makes a policeman to be able to feed is the gun he's holding. They use their gun to extort money from people.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
No longer news that we are truly the voice of the people.
Am I not a slave in Nigeria?
I refuse if you're
slave. Let's not get to that now. So the Nigerian constitution.
You spot the difference now?
I am a proud Nigerian. I have been placed here by God for a time such as this.
At my back, I ain't coming back.
The degradation, challenges, and problems faced by Nigeria are the perfect backdrop for me to develop and utilize my God-given potential.
I will not complain. I will not criticize. Rather, I will use my skills, gifts, relationships,
and experience to find long-lasting and revolutionary solutions to the many challenges confronting Nigeria.
Nigeria will rise again.
Because I am here, I will leave this nation
a better place than I met it. I will work to make Nigeria a praise on the earth.
I will work to make Nigeria a praise on the earth. So help me God.
Let me tell you how I got this far.
This message is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People.
iPrep in action on Today FM.
This program is designed to educate the people and give detailed progress reports on the Ogoni Cleanup project.
The show will also feature high-profile interviews and discussions with relevant stakeholders on the cleanup exercise. We shall be presented with weekly updates and discussions on burning issues on the cleanup exercise.
Tune in every Friday from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. to get all the information about the Ogoni Cleanup project. High-Prep, remediating the environment and restoring livelihoods.
Ladies and gentlemen, May I have your attention, please?
This president's failed.
It's about the future of this country.
We're going to take it back. We're going to take it back.
You asked us to vote you into that position so you can bring about that
Solutions.
So when you vote me, then you sleep.
Let me see if I can take another phone call. Hello, today 95.1 FM. Good morning.
What makes a policeman to be able to feed is the gun he's holding. They use their gun to extort money from people.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
No longer news that we are truly the voice of the people.
Am I not a slave in Nigeria?
I refuse if you are. If
You're a slave. You're a slave. Let's not get to that now. So the Nigerian Rob is philosophizing.
You spot the difference now?
This is today's hustle. One show that embodies objectivity. We raise the bar in examining the good, the bad, the sordid, everything that has to do with society.
In America, you buy a big house and you pay gradually for 30 years of your life. That is politics. In Nigeria, you carry all your salary and go and rent one room. Bad politics.
Everything that has to do with
You
society.
must negotiate. If we don't negotiate, when a man is pushed to the wall, he bounces back with double levels. We have been pushed to the wall.
The Hustle. Every weekday from
1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
on Today 95.1 FM.
All right, a beautiful afternoon once again to everybody listening here. You are welcome to the second half of today's hustle. It's 11 minutes gone past 2 o'clock. Oh, it just turned 12. All right, 12 minutes gone past 2 o'clock. And on the show today, we'll be talking about something that seemed to have everybody's attention. Whether on social media, I mean, a lot of persons are discussing this, even in their physical environments, and that would be the protest going on in several parts of the country, which is the hashtag #EndSARS protest. And it won't be the first time or the last time, or even hopefully it should be the last time we talk about it. That's the #EndSARS protest. And all of the things, occurrences that have been springing up thus far with this particular agitation and protest coming from several Nigerian youths across the country. Now, I think it was earlier when we were talking about the fact that certain Nigerian youths have decided, to take to the streets to ask for a complete end and disbandment of the FSARS in the country. A lot of them have been of the opinion that there isn't a need for a security outfit that seemed to be after the younger Nigerians. Now, if you remember, the Special Anti-Robbery Squad is, specifically created for sensitive issues like the robbery, in which, their name stands for, fighting robbery and warding off bad elements, as support from an arm of the force, right? Now, over the years, we've had a few of these people, a few of the personnel in this operative, seem to be high-handed and seem to go out of their way or their job specification to do other things and even cause some sort of havoc or mayhem, wreak havoc and mayhem on young Nigerians. I mean, the fear has always been that when these people see you, you're either harassed or embarrassed because they would want to look at your appearance. I mean, they use your appearance to judge you as a young person. They go through your device, sometimes even without a permission or a permit. And people are saying that it's not necessary. Now, if you remember the last time I talked about NSAS, I asked the question, do you think we should really end SARS? Should the hashtag be NSAS or reform the entire outfit? That's the security outfit in the country. And some persons were of the opinion that, you know what, a reform at this point in time would not be necessary because of the amount of decadence that we've seen so far. And it would be much better if there is a disbandment or an immediate disbandment of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad operatives in the country. So a lot of youths took to the street. I mean, yesterday we even followed up with certain celebrities who had, led a protest. I think that was in Lagos State. And other protests that took place in states like Benin, Edo, Imo, Delta, Abuja as well. And some other states, that also had plans to also stage this protest, such as Kanu, which, of course, were not allowed to because of the outbursts that happened in places like Edo and Delta State. Yesterday, there was a video. It was... Yeah, it actually happened in Owerri, where I think it was the area commander who had, pulled out a gun and tried to harass certain protesters in the state. And people were like, these are more reasons why we should, disband and or just completely end SARS in the country. Now, that's not the only thing that happened. I mean, on the flip side, we also had that certain police personnel yesterday that clashed with various protesters in Benin City, that's Edo State, in Owerri, in Ugwili, in Delta State. And we also heard violence, the tension, the pressure. And one would ask, if it continues this way, what would be the end story? Now, we would also be expecting that we would have, proactiveness in terms of responses coming from our leaders in the country with regards to what's really going on now, at least to ease the tension or to reduce the pressure or to even stop impending violence that might, occur if a lot of this protests still continue. But then it seems to be that maybe the government seems to be taking its time. That's what people will say. It's taking its time. But then we gathered that a lot of other protesters would also be taken to the streets, not just in Abuja. I think there was also talks about the one here in Rivers State, some other states as well that would be keen into what Lagos and some other states had started in terms of the protest. And you would ask, what would be the end of all of this? Are the protesters right to demand for complete disbandment of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad operatives? Because at this point in time, a reform may likely not even be a lasting solution. But then there is a disbandment, the call for the NSAS, isn't it? And now these people are dissolved into, other security outfits. And it continues. What would then be the story to tell in the country? Because really, when we look at it, both sides seem tacky, but which is the better option is what we're actually going to be looking at now. We're just going to have a conversation. What do you really think? Do you think that this protest is in the the right line or the right direction? We're calling for the end SARS. We're saying that we should disband these people because of their high-handedness, because they go out of their way sometimes, to intimidate young Nigerians. And of course, like I would always say, there seem not to be any institution where we don't find bad elements, or we don't find bad eggs, as we would say, where we don't find people whose sole duty is to tarnish the image of the institution as a whole, either because of their activities or non-actions. So it's a known phenomenon, right? It's a known thing. It's a known fact. We have people who would never adhere to instructions, whether or not they are law enforcement agents or not. They just would not adhere to instructions. But then again, this occurrence has been reoccurrent, right? We've had issues like this not once, not twice. And out of issues like this had, been the call for their immediate removal from certain, activities, which of course did not really work, which of course did not yield so much. So this is part of Nigerians and protest. Now again, I'm asking, this protest, is this the beginning of something new? Is this the beginning of demanding accountability from our leaders? Is this going to change the style of leadership and the style of followership in the country? Is this a new beginning for us? And with this particular demand that we are on, do you think that our immediate solution right now should be a call for the disbandment of this unit, or there are other solutions or options that we should explore? Because when you think about it, you disband them. Are they going to be reintroduced into the already existing existing security outfits? If they are, it then means our problems isn't solved in the first place, because it would continue. Now, how do we fix the structural issue in most of these units generally? How do we fix the structural issue? How do we fix the administrative issues so that we don't have these issues reoccur now and then? So that we don't have a need to come out and cry that security operatives that are supposed to be law enforcers, or who are supposed to be the ones protecting the people, are the ones who in turn are the nuisance that we're crying about or crying out loud for. So what would be a long-term solution? What would be a long-term solution to this particular problem? High-handedness in our security outfits, having them harass young Nigerians, having them do things that, people call in and tell us about certain security operatives who stay on the road and collect, fees from drivers. How do we change all of this? How do we move from where we are right now to a much better security operative in the country? How do we move from this particular place? How do we move from this place of complaint, this place of issues, this place of, structural decadence, administrative failure, to a place where we can look back and say that due to the sensitivity of the duty and the job of these people, they have been doing so well. We can now sleep in our houses, rest assured that our security operatives are doing their jobs. And again, with the protest, the question is this a new change? Are we seeing a new trend where we demand some sort of accountability from the government? Is this going to foster some sort of response and proactiveness from the leadership of the country? That's the question we're asking. It's just very simple questions. It's not one for arguments or not. We're just trying to see how we can prefer solution to this particular issue that has been lingering for so long. I hear that the protest is still ongoing. Other states will still, follow through with the protest. So let's get to hear from you. 0817 0000951 or 0810 9510 951. Send in your text messages or WhatsApp messages to the number 0701 9339 962. Do not forget that some of these protests tend to get violent, either from the security operatives or from the protesters. These things are prone to being hijacked by bad elements, and sometimes there would be resistance coming from the security operatives. So how do we go about this in a way that our voice can be heard and there can be a change, and little or no violence would be witnessed? Let's get to hear from you. 95.1 FM.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Obulukim. I'm calling from Ahoda West.
All right, you're welcome. Please go on.
I'm not against protest. I'm not against protesting for SARS and what SARS did in Nigeria. But what I'm against is bad governance. Bad governance brought the misuse of SARS. Are you hearing me?
Yes, please go on.
Bad governance brought this misconduct of this SARS. You understand? For me, I will call Nigerian youth, I will call the citizens of Nigeria. They should protest against the bad governance that is killing the millions of Nigerians.
So an administrative failure is the reason for all of this. So how do we move away from this? Now, you're talking about calling, right? And now protests seem to be the option we're using to call for a change. But then the protests seem to also be tilting towards violence, which of course we do not need at this point in time.
No, that's what I'm saying, that people should stick on peaceful protest, not violence.
All right.
We don't want violence. What we are looking for is peaceful protest. Protests are against the bad governance, not even SARS. Because when you get the good governance, when you get the good governance, SARS should be restored. SARS will be reformed. You understand?
All right.
What I'm trying to do, people should protest against the bad governance that is killing millions of Nigerians. Nigeria are dying. People are crying. So many things is going wrong. People should stand for it.
All right.
Say, we don't want the bad governance.
So on the disbandment of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, what is your take on that particular one?
For me, that should be a penalty for that. There should be reform.
Okay.
A reform that people should give them a penalty if they violate. They should sack them.
All right, a reform instead of complete end.
Yes, sir. If you reform it, you give a penalty. If you violate that, you should be sacked.
All right then. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Protest for bad governance. Protest for bad governance, not SARS.
All right. Thank you very much for that opinion there. Protest for bad governance, not SARS. 95.1 FM.
Lady Wells.
Good afternoon.
I'm Chima, calling from Port Harcourt.
You're welcome, Chima. Please go on.
Yes, let me say, next time Nigerians are speaking one language. You understand? Yes, they're coming together. I think it's encouraging. It's even it's telling me in my spirit that there's a hope if we come together, collectively, to demand for what really is going to be better for everybody. I think that coming together, first of all. Then talk of grabbing SARS totally, I might not be in support of grabbing SARS totally.
All right. So what would be a better option?
Yes, the reformation, please, and also people being taken into that special tactical squad that comprises SARS or whatever. I think they should be well screened because most of criminals. You understand? So I think to grab it totally might not be the best option because of the high rate of crime, because we cannot say that they have not at least made some tremendous achievements so far. Well screen for them to be known.
All right, then.
Comes another thing also, and in Nigeria, even though there is a law, people might want to defy such laws. And when such people defy such law, any erring one, even though they are being reformed, we can still find erring one. So see a correspondent prosecution of any erring police officer.
All right. So because immediate disciplinary actions.
With what you have seen on the ground, the high rate of human rights abuse and extrajudicial killing cannot commensurate with the prosecution we have seen so far.
All right, then.
I think there has to be a prosecution, any erring police officer, to deter others from towing the same path.
All right. Thank you very much, Chima, for that one. 95.1 FM. Good afternoon. Hello. All right, then you have to call back 0817-00000951 or 0810-9510-951. Sending your text messages, WhatsApp messages to the number 0701 95.1 FM. Good afternoon.
Well, good afternoon once again.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bright.
Thank you. Protest against us, and what do I think should be the best thing to be done? And SARS is not a good call. and I'm sure it will never be happened to.
Okay.
And the only problem with SAS, with anti-kidnapping, anti-cultism, Nigerian Army, Custom, all of the agencies, including the lecturers, every institution is the same problem with SAS, just indiscipline. So the only solution is just discipline, not even no reformation that you are going to do that will change the criminal mind of any person, other than if you have that reward system there that he knows is functioning.
All right, then. Okay.
There is an incident that happened within where I stay some few weeks ago. Someone was accused of stealing because of some statements and other things he made, and he was arrested with it. Had even mentioned some areas he claimed to have gone to after he must have been seen. And they went to those places, and it became that he didn't come there. But he hasn't confessed to doing that. And they asked the police officer. The police officer said they are not going to torture him. And then he cited the given reason of what happened in the case of Chima, Ikunado, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the fear of the police is not because the guy would die. But eventually, if he dies, with what is happening to those who tortured Chima, Ikunado to death, it could happen to them.
All right.
Now, because of that discipline going on, it is taking care of torture. The police station I'm telling you is a very known police station.
Where is that?
They never tortured that guy. Kala police station. They never tortured that guy. And he was even released because there was no evidence found against him.
Okay, then.
Even to keep detaining him. So, because there is that discipline, what we need is if SAS operatives on the road is reported to have done something, the police should designate a reachable and functional desk where if SAS has extorted me illegally, I can walk to that place and complain, and they will be able to find where did it
immediate action. All right, then.
We sent so and so team to Rumokoro on so and so time. Which among these people was involved? I can identify one person, and you discipline that person because the job they are doing, we have not reported them. That is why it's easier to say answers. You live in Port Harcourt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every street now has gates. Some streets closes that are joining to street. The major street has gates. The close has gates. There is panel door on our houses, and there are burglaries. Who are responsible for these things? Those are the things SAS is fighting.
All right, then.
It's not that they went out of their ways. The menace we were fighting 2 years and 3 years back of hard drug, SAS, that their patrol and these guys helped in curtailing that hard drug problem we had in the society some 2-3 years ago. Now there is another thing like
quickly, Mr. Sam, Mr. Bright, rather.
Let me round up. We have high tendency of crime in Nigeria. 2 days ago, you reported on how a grandmother sold a grandchild. Now, what is that going to tell the police? Even if you are saying now, this is my grandchild, they are going to detain you to find out if actually that grandchild is rightly on your custody or something else. So, by the time we keep devising means to commit crime, these security agencies fighting crime will be going out of their way. And these are some of the problems they encounter. Ending SAS in River State, no, like me from a jail. You can't ask an chairman and he tells you to end SAS.
All right, Mr. Bright. All right, thank you.
SAS should not be ended, but let's discipline erring officers. That will help us a lot.
All right, thank you very much. You see, a lot of persons are saying that whether discipline or not, because I'm reading this text message now, and I think he seems to be replying to this particular opinion. Say whether discipline or not, people who are lax already in administration, it would work for only a while and then it ends. All right, no name from that one, but I think he was referring to the case of discipline. See, the truth is, whether or not it works for only a while, if we continue to demand, then maybe, just maybe, there wouldn't be an end to administrative uprightness. It's as simple as that. It seems that, whenever we overlook these things and think that maybe we live in a climate where they would only listen to us for a few minutes and then they go back to what it used to be, that's why they keep doing what they're doing, because they know that we're going to relax and they too would relax. So maybe if we continue to demand this uprightness and accountability from all of them, then maybe it would, last as long as it can. But let me go back to the phone lines now and get your opinion on the protest and your opinion on whether or not we should disband the Special Anti-Robbery Squad. 95.1 FM.
Hello, good afternoon, my sister.
Good afternoon. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
My name is Professor Ikita. I'm calling from the United States of Ireland.
You're welcome. Please go on.
My sister, the issue of this protest against the South. To me, I see most of the things that they are doing protest against are that they are just doing this not for their own benefit, for their own selfish interest.
That's the protesters are. Who is doing this for their interest?
Okay, people that they are doing the protest against it, that to stop them. I have my reason. Let me just explain for you.
All right then.
Because before they create the issue of SARS, you know, as this of this of our state in Nigeria, being that particular time, is that we cannot say, for example, that we say that only one person or two or three persons that they are not good in River State. Can we say all the River people or people that are living in River State are not good? To me, what they're supposed to do is that they're supposed to bring out the bad ones among them, not to just say that they want to do protest to stop them. Definitely, what I believe that if they stop SARS, I believe nobody knows the kind of place that will be in this particular country. They never stop SARS. We know killing here and there. The issue of X-Men, the killing of X-Men, and the issue of Boko Haram. They cannot. They will tell us that they have defeated Boko Haram technically. So they should take wise. To me, I did not support the issue of to stop SARS. Instead of to stop SARS, they should make sure they reform to reform the SARS.
All right, reformation is the answer.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. There, 95.1 FM.
What you are doing well.
Good afternoon, Prince.
Yes, afternoon. Let me just join my voice in addition to what others have been saying.
All right then.
I am in support of the protest, but what they target SARS is what I'm not in support of. It should be reformed SARS.
So what's our solution?
The problem is that the innocent Nigerians are suffering too much. We are facing the bad boys and women, the people who are bent on committing crime on daily basis, in fact, per second. Then we are equally facing the people who we are paying through the taxpayers' money to protect life and property. Equally, instead of protecting us, are also killing us. But we don't know where to go from here. They should reform SARS. I was when we went to pay courtesy call to the current commissioner of police, River State. We told him something. Okay, you can just disguise yourself. You and some of your men, those who believe that are more responsible, will do the job. Just disguise yourself. Drive through or join a public vehicle from Choba just to bias our Bioma Ondele. You know what we are talking about. You see the result for yourself. You don't need anybody to bring you to bring any information to you on how your men are behaving on the road.
So they should willfully also check their operatives as well.
What? Yeah, there are a lot of them sabotaging their efforts.
All right then.
You fetch them out. You fish them out and put them where they are supposed to be. These people should be in jail. They are not really willing to do the job. Instead, they have come to cause more harm. We should protect not just only SARS, bad governance, judiciary, and all the rest. Nigerians are getting wiser on daily basis.
Okay.
I mean, it is the high time. I am support of it. I will join them any day, any time. But let them change that name. SARS, because once we SARS, the bad boys will flush us out.
All right then.
We don't know where to go.
All right, thank you.
Falling apart,
Thank you very much. Hopefully things don't fall apart. 95.1 FM.
Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Yes, well.
Good afternoon, Lawson.
Yes, greetings. Do you know that there are people who are praising and thanking SARS in Nigeria?
Of course they are.
Are you aware? Good. Now, some people have, it looks as if it is even an agenda, but maybe organized by the criminals to make sure that the SARS go away. He just mentioned one organization, just as Bright said, in Nigeria that don't have bad eggs, that are not corrupt. Mention even the judiciary. See how corrupt most of the judicial officers are. Mention the lecturers. You understand? Which one will you call? All the other uniform men. Mention which one that is bad, that is not having bad eggs. They all have. It is what you see in SARS is a reflection of Nigerian society. Don't forget, a former minister in this country, under President Jonathan, attempted to reform Nigeria. He wanted to rebrand Nigeria. What do you mean by rebranding? It means the brand she came to meet was a bad brand. Everywhere she goes, good people, good nation, good people, good to rebrand Nigeria. Go abroad. There was a time, the moment they say, hey, Nigeria, it's a special search for you abroad. So it is who we are. We are like that. So when you say end start, then you also say end all the other organizations.
So apparently what we should be looking at is a complete reformation for all security outfits. I mean, so that we don't see this happen.
It is difficult because Nigerians generally are corrupt. Permit me to say this. Nigerians generally are corrupt. So when you catch these corrupt officers, you deal with them. Sometimes some of them send them to jail.
All right.
When you bring the stiffer penalties, you understand? Because there is no way SARS can go away. The criminals are just looking for a clear field to operate.
Okay,
so
then.
When they see that there are hindrances here, stonewall here and there, they come up with all of these things, you understand? And then say, oh, SARS is the problem. Meanwhile, most of them are committing crime every day.
All right, then.
Every day.
All right,
listen. So for me, you understand, just like every other organization, if you find anybody culpable, any guilty party, make sure you understand they are disciplined. Once you discipline them and they see the discipline and it is tough, it will serve as a deterrent to others.
All right,
you understand? Then. But if you say end SARS, then end all the organizations in Nigeria because most of them are corrupt.
All right.
Just like that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. What about having some sort of statement, right? Some sort of, appeasing statement from the government to the people. Because at this point in time, we see a lot of these protesters not even considering the fact that maybe a reformation would even be an option right now. The protest right now is to disband the Special Anti-Robbery Squad. And what if we have our government or our leaders come out to tell these people that, you know what, other than end SARS, maybe we're going to put in the bulk of the effort and our reaction to making sure or enforcing administrative and structural reformation, right? How about trying to make the people see or know that the government feels the grievance of the people and understands the plight of the people and is working right now to make sure that all security outfits, not just the SARS, is actually going to see a complete and total reformation. I mean, putting willpower on that so that from the government to make sure that this issue does not reoccur again in Nigeria. I think maybe that way, that particular option would also soothe the protesters, to an extent, while we're trying to reform this particular outfit. I don't know what you think about that, but let me get to hear from you. 95.1 FM.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Your name and where you're calling from?
No, I'm calling from God.
All right, please go on.
You say you dispose SARS. SARS is not the problem of Nigeria. You see, Nigeria is corrupt. You and I just live voting and go talk. But I mean, though, people are commenting by the understanding it's corrupt. So, reform SARS, reform SARS are taking short term. They don't do this. The operational permit, if what they do is not in the operational permit, give it to them. The officer is told you know how to explain them. You understand? So bad meat, there must be, so people they find bad meat, bad egg in it, whatever, in a good egg, I don't know. But what I know is that, see, reform SARS, Nigeria is corrupt. Let you and I conclude what we do. Let's rule ourselves. Nigeria is corrupt. See, money, talk about SARS.
So we should be crying for a complete change in the government as well. I mean, a reformation in every institution.
Nigeria is corrupt. Yeah, every institution.
All right, thank you.
And I go to pray to make them take care of us. They make you disband them. You understand? Just reform them, discipline them.
Okay.
Give them their training. If there's any bad one inside them, fetch him out, escort him.
All right.
Nigeria is corrupt. So we will talk how to stand. Nigeria is corrupt.
Hopefully we change that narrative. All right. Hopefully we change that narrative there. Nigeria is not gone. All right. I don't know what's wrong with this particular. Nigeria is not gone. All right. I understand your grievance. I understand the fact that you feel that all the institutions, which of course can be proven that in every institution we have the bad eggs, whether we like it or not. It is the truth that we have to face. But the thing is, how do we change the narrative? How do we move from this place where we are to the country that we all want? Now, how do we demand that the government is accountable on all tiers? How do we demand that every institution being set up to protect us as Nigerians actually delivers on protecting us as Nigerians? Because we deserve it as people. We all deserve it. So how do we demand for that? How do we instill that change? You think maybe with this protest now, the government is, reawakened to the reality that a lot of Nigerians are now pursuing eagerly the 51. Sending your messages to the number 0701 9339 962 95.1 FM. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Please, what's your name and where you're calling from?
Congo, calling from Africa Village.
All right, go on.
SAS officers, they have their boss change.
Okay.
And another thing is this: going on the street for demonstration is also not a good solution.
Why is that?
Yes, let me hear from me. I personally, Congo, if I should decide to go for demonstration, I don't know, but will you join me and begin to do another thing? Well, my motive for doing that is another. So that is why. And even as I'm speaking to you over the air, I'm demonstrating.
Okay.
I think they should hear.
All right.
This is also a word of demonstration. You go to the air, go to the paper, whereas we know that as we travel on the roads to do a like that, the miscreants will join. And
Okay.
that's problem.
All right,
Thank you
very much.
Thank
you very much. Just disrupt the peaceful protest, which of course will cause some sort of reaction coming from the security agencies. But then again, you can't stop people from protesting. I mean, it's their right. They have the right to protest, and that's why we have security operatives who should be there manning the protest to ensure that no miscreant elements come and hijack the peaceful protest and distorts the intent of the protest. 95.1 FM.
Yeah, good afternoon, Wes.
Good afternoon. Your name and where you're calling from?
Thank you. This is Boki is calling from Port Harcourt.
All right, please go on.
Yes, our constitution, something has to be done regarding our constitution. So all this needs to be enshrined in the constitution. Now, a situation where an organization like SARS is not accessible to the public, where if you have a suggestion to make or to put in the suggestion box, you go there and drop it. I'm not just dropping it. As you drop, the authorities make sure they go through it and continue to where there is a kind of suggestion for reformation or for a kind of a change in attitude in the way this is operating, now be followed. So if you look at the protest, me, as an individual, I do not buy the idea of protesting against them. If you look at the people who are mainly behind the call that these people be banned, I am telling you, like in the community where I am, in the community where you have a kind of a lot of bad eggs, you understand? So they come and, these people should be banned, should be banned. They know what they are pursuing. They know what they are looking for. As soon as these people start operation today, stop functioning, as soon as stop functioning, you see a different...
Criminality will become the order of the day.
Exactly. So they know why they are saying it should be. Rather, there should be a kind of thorough supervision. Whenever, yes, anybody make any suggestion on reformation, they should go through and make sure they act on it and not just allowing them to be doing whatever they like. Because even ordinarily, if anybody is allowed to, if where you are working, you are given that free chance, nobody is supervising you, you will go the other way.
All right then.
See? So tell me the sector in Nigeria that is not as even more, there are more corrupt sectors than this SARS of 18. But nobody is hearing it, and Nigerians are not going out to protest against those sectors.
So we should channel this energy as well to demand good governance and reformation. All right. Thank you very much for that contribution there. I think that's wonderful. And the truth is, yes, maybe there is that reawakening. Maybe this is even the beginning. As I said, maybe this is a beginning for some sort of change and some sort of awareness from not just the people, but the government as well. 95.1 FM.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Well, this is hard calling from another way.
Please go on.
Reforming SARS is good. I want to say that those that protest, Nigeria, we are Nigeria. Let us also rise and protest against this APC that's killing our economy. APC administration.
Is APC the only administration that has failed the Nigerian state? Is APC the only administration that failed?
Wait, now let me say something. APC is giving Nigeria bad leadership, bad administration. Let us
all right, I'm not talking about the APC now. And as I said, I asked the question, if you think that there is, bad administration, then you would also remember that the APC is not even the only political party that has led this country. And from what I know, we're still we're still moving slowly, isn't it? We're still moving slowly. It's been how many years now, and there's little or nothing to show for, according to some of you. So it would mean that it is not just this administration. It is it's a long-standing issue that we've all been facing. But I'm looking at NSAS now, all right? So let's focus on that. 95.1 FM.
Hello, good evening.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I was just pleased to contribute to what you're discussing about the protest. Okay.
All right, please go on.
Yeah. The issue of all these things we are discussing now is just the insolubility of this country. No department in this country works. No department. So the issue,
are you there?
As far as you see, it's a reflection of the society. When people are just struggling, doing this, doing that, the SARS themselves are also struggling to make ends meet. You understand? So all these things are resulting to all what we are seeing now.
Okay.
The whole issue is from the up. If we have to amend the constitution of this country or to make things working, nothing is working. Let us not just deceive ourselves. Nothing is working. All this while we are discussing, nothing is working.
That's why I'm saying this reawakening. Do you think that this is a beginning for change, especially for everything from leadership to every institution in the country?
The orientation, exactly, yes. The orientation is still towards people trying to realize where they are now. Because it's like before, we don't even know what we are doing. You understand? Forget about this APC, PDP, all this.
Okay, sorry we lost you there. Hopefully you can call back, or if you feel you've made your point, then good. Let's read some text messages because of time. This one says, good afternoon, presenter. For me, SARS operatives have done more harm than good in Nigeria. Police always speak my one language. My man are on top of the matter. Okay, I'm thinking you mean my men. Okay, but at the long run, no good results. That's coming from George O'George. This one says, good AM, good afternoon, my people in the studio. For me, they are Nigerian police. Any other name is to make things... okay, I can't really make this out, but try to resend your message for me, please. This one says, NSAS protest. Those calling for NSAS are right, and those that are calling for reformation are also right. But the truth is that if SARS handle you badly, you will call for NSAS. But for me, reformation is the best if only they would stick to the rule of engagement. And if police generally want to do their work, I bet insecurity will be the thing of the past. That's coming from Ben from Oboboro town. This one is coming from Sunday Truna from Akpajo. Peaceful protests in Nigeria cannot be guaranteed, as miscreants and criminals can hijack the peaceful protests to snowball to monumental violence, right? This one says, NSAS is not the panacea. Rather, SARS should be reformed, and by extension, bad eggs in the police and SARS should be booted out. This one says, those calling for the hashtag NSAS have to be examined properly. Very well. Bad ones are in the police. Okay, very well. Bad ones are in the police, not only in the tactical units like SAS. What we should be demanding is attitudinal change of uniformed men. The citizens should do well to give info about those impersonating SAS and other uniformed men to commit crime. And that's coming from Stan. This one says, when Rivers State campaigned about SAS 2 years past, APC members said, okay, Okay, Mr. Waribo, I can't read out your message. This one says, good afternoon. I don't support the call to scrap SARS. Rather, let there be a reformation because there are good ones among them. In the midst of SARS, we are suffering in the hand of criminals. We should understand that in every advantage, there is a disadvantage. There are many criminals in the society, mostly among the youth. Even without police pursuing them, they are on their own. I'm thinking, that's what you want to write, will start running. And if police and road safety should check all their cars that run on the road, you would see that they're... Okay, I think just to summarize this, I think you're saying that even that, right? Thank you very much, Ruth, for that one, because your message is incomplete. Sorry about that. This one says, it is the beginning in the right direction. After the protest against SARS, let there be a protest against bribe collection from the entire police force, because 75% of the force are corrupt. People are against SARS because they shed innocent blood more than the armed robbers. Sometimes they behave under serious conditions. If they misbehave again, then they should be scrapped. That's coming from Osuji. Let's take some more calls now. 95.1 FM. Good afternoon.
Hello,
Good afternoon. My name is Wealth. What's yours?
Oh, my sister, how are you?
I'm okay. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Simeon. I'm calling from Delhi.
All right. You're welcome, Simeon. Please go on.
You see, this FSAS is a proof in
All right. Lost you there. 95.1 FM. Good afternoon.
Hello?
Good afternoon.
Afternoon. God bless you.
Yes. Your name and where you're calling from?
I'm Alfred by name.
All right. Please go on, Alfred.
Okay. What I want to say, to end such not the issue. But there are civilians that are more wicked than SARS. Before SARS come out, there's something that brought SARS about. So the country itself is corrupt. When I say country, the people in Nigeria is corrupt. So now, before SARS get to this level, there's something that make them get to this level. Why can Nigerians now find out what brought about SARS, so that they can able to reform SARS? Even if they reform SARS, they cannot reform the mind of the people that are doing the evil. Are you getting it?
All right then.
So the best thing for Nigeria to look into the matter and let crime reduce. If crime reduce, SARS will reduce. That is the simple truth.
Okay. So
more people commit.
While we're crying that we should end this particular tactical unit, we should also cry that criminal elements should reduce as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. More they are committing crime, more SARS will do their job.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much for that one. One last call and we call it a wrap. 95.1 FM.
Hello, good day.
Yes, Wealth. Good afternoon.
Sorry, what? This is Pastor Akot calling from Rumodogo.
All right. Please go on quickly.
This end SARS is not the problem, because one thing you should understand about this end of SARS is if they eventually end this SARS, the hoodlums are there waiting for whom to devour 24 hours. Because I talk with mostly we from Emua local government that have bushes all around us. If eventually they end SARS today, our bush will become a camp for those who
hoodlums. Okay.
But the only thing is business.
Okay.
If you see the kind of money, the kind of business, the kind of houses, most of those
they use it to extort from people.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. They even have POS machine with them inside their car.
I think I heard something like that one time.
They collect your ATM card from you. They slot there.
All right. Thank you.
Transfer from your account.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
The problem they have now is information, because it did not end SARS. they are helping us to if not for this fact that just came, it would have been a thing of the so please,
all right,
we should only reform them, touch out the bad eggs from them.
All right, thank you.
Them.
Thank you very much. Very wonderful opinion there coming from every single one of you. Thank you for your text messages and calls and WhatsApp messages, of course. But for now, we have to close the curtain. Wisdom Obina is here for today's Sports Live. Thank you for listening. Do stay with us. And do not forget the High Prep on radio. Yeah, will be coming up at 4 o'clock. So do stay tuned.
Let's talk football. Let's talk football.
What a devastating strike!
Football is a leisure game.
Sports is actually my job.
Football is boring.
That's not true. It's way more important than that.
What a wonderful goal! Fantastic strike!
As far as I'm concerned, sports is all about passion.
Sports Attack, weekdays 7:30 a.m. and today's Sports Live 3 p.m. Weekends 1 p.m. to 6 p.m.
For all you need to know in the world of sports, leave the dial on Today 95.1 FM.
Super Eagles, waiting they happen, waiting they share, we want no. China winch, I've been landing, no matter their plan, no, we go still they fly. Walele, where you do? My brother, where you do? Walele, where you do? My brother, where you do? Agali, make you tell me where you do. Finidi, make you tell me where you do. Aye, Beni, make you tell me where you do. Tijani, make you tell me where you do. Ataribo, make you tell me where you do. Ayobo, make you tell me where you do. Papilo, make you tell me where you do. Lady Jofa, make you tell me where you do. Walele, where you do? Yeah, oh, my brother, where you do? Say walele, where you do? My brother, where you do? Okocha, make you tell me where you do? Aga Wonder, make you tell me where you do? Okorompo, make you tell me where you do? Sigaruba, make you tell me where you do? Olise, make you tell me where you do? Udeze, make you tell me where you do? Ike Shorumu, make you tell me where you do? Akuwegu, make you tell me where you do? Ayosi Kenya, I say where you do? Ababa Yaru, make you tell me where you do? Ujiwe, make you tell me where you do? Our Super Eagles, I say where una do? Walele, where you do? My brother, where you do? I say walele, where you do? Hello, my brother, where you do?
A beautiful afternoon to you. Welcome to Friday's edition of Today's Sports Live. And the show is reaching you, yes, from the studios of our premium news, talk, and sports radio station, Today 95.1 FM, right here in Port Harcourt. My name is Wisdom Obina, and I'm not alone in the studio. I've got three gentlemen who will be giving us the best of analysis here. And starting from my left is Chidubem Njoku. Chidubem, welcome to the show.
Yeah, good afternoon, Wisdom. This song gives me the vibes, really. It's old, but it never really gets old.
Yeah.
You know, it just starts gyration feeling in Nigeria. Our music is really good, but it's good to be here. Good afternoon. It's a packed. It promises to be a packed weekend, really. Friday, Grand Slam, Formula One, basketball, everything you can think of, football as well. It's really a packed Friday and a weekend. Good to be here.
All right, and the man who I can always rely on Fridays, Reliance, welcome to the show.
What do you mean? So other days you cannot rely.
It's actually, it feels great to be here. The song, talking about the song, you know, each time I listen to it, I keep asking myself, when will the Nigerian Super Eagles do something spectacular? So that when I play this song, listen
there'll be
to
something
it,
attached.
You know, there's something that's like an extra motivation to you. I could recall when the Super, how should I call them now? The under-17 won the World Cup. Sometimes far back, the Golden Eaglet here. You know, a neighbor of mine played the song, stood under the sun, later on it rained. The guy was dancing to the song, like dancing to this song on repeat for hours.
I tell you.
You know, so the song comes with extra feeling and extra motivation, but we just need the Super Eagles to give us a cut so that we can dance to the song with our full mind, heart, spirit. And so it's great to be here. Good afternoon to everyone listening.
All right, will they be doing that today? We'll come to that in a bit. But also with us in the building, Nathaniel Igere. Nathaniel, welcome to the show.
Good afternoon to my colleagues in the studio, and good afternoon to all sports fans listening to this program. It's great to be here.
All right, and together we would be taking you into a big weekend. But first, the Formula One IFL Grand Prix. It returns. You know, we are having different strange events this year because of the new normal that has actually made some things come back, some go away. Even the one in Brazil, there's a funny arrangement, and Hamilton is shouting and crying, "Don't bring down threes because we want us to race or drive." The NBA is also on the menu. Can anything hold back the LA Lakers? I mean, just one win away, and the rest, they say, is history when it comes to Bulls. They are here. Yes, they are. And they'll be sending us the vibes from Austria. Reminds me of a particular musician that said, "I know that you're feeling me from away." As the Inyaya. Credit to Inyaya. We'll be feeling them from Nigeria here. That game between them and the Algerians, it will be coming up. All right, quickly, let's start off with the Grand Prix that will be coming up in Germany, the IFL Grand Prix. I mean, first, has anybody in the house heard about this particular event before? because it's, it's what we have to deal with. I'm sure the organizers, they just want to find a way to just manage themselves. Let it be that we had at least 15 races or more this season. But
it is not so regular. It's not so peculiar to us, Wisdom, the IFL Grand Prix. Because
the only IFL I know in my life is the Eiffel Tower.
But we just have to remember that due to COVID, many of the Grand Prix were cancelled. Some of them were suspended, but later on they were still cancelled, and there were talks of introducing more Grand Prix depending on the country and the COVID-19 situation in those countries that will be hosting what we might term the inaugural Grand Prix for this season. Although the IFL Grand Prix is not altogether a new Grand Prix, just that it was abandoned after a while. So I think it's just one of those. We had a funny Toscan Grand Prix the last time in Italy. There were so many clashes and all that, and then just add to the calendar. So just like you mentioned, Wisdom, the FIA are just looking at a way to at least let's have up to 17, if not 18 races for the season, so that whoever emerges the champion will have cause to celebrate, and the integrity of the sport will not be questioned for whoever emerges the champion of this one. So IFL, not so regular, not so peculiar, just strange.
All right, I didn't tell you we are going to be talking about tennis because that's about the other major topic we'll be talking about outside the Super Eagles this afternoon. Rafael Nadal is in front of our screens, and I won't say he's taking Schwartzman to the cleaners, but I mean, the aggressiveness with which this man plays tennis, you start asking yourself, is there a particular feeling he attaches to this particular Grand Slam, the French Open? I mean, it's obvious, but he's leading that set. I think he's won that set now 6-3. The first set between him and Diogo Schwartzman right there in the semi-final of the French Open. We'll be talking about the ladies, by the way, but before that, really, Schwartzman, I think he gave it a good shot, but the first set over, Rafael Nadal leading Diogo Schwartzman by 6. Did beat Diogo Schwartzman in the first set 6-3. They are gearing up now for the second. All right, let's move on and talk about the NBA. It's going to be either fate or favor for any of the two teams tonight or early hours of tomorrow morning Nigerian time. Now, three-time NBA man, LeBron James, ahead of Game 5 of the NBA playoffs, says that the job is not done yet after the LA Lakers beat Miami Heat in the Game 4 of the NBA playoff finals with 102-96 on Wednesday. The Lakers now lead the series 3-1 He said, and I quote, "We understand what is at stake. The job is not done yet, and we get an opportunity to get our bodies back underneath us with an extra day of rest, but also keep our mind sharp. I am looking forward to do the clock treatment and treating it like we played on Thursday. I'll continue to work until the job is done." Chidubem, LeBron James with 4 championships in sight, and the Lakers making a switch to wear their Black Mamba jersey. Any chance for the Heat to come back from the 3-1 series deficit?
Well, if there is, it has to be a very slim one, because I think this has happened 37 times. That's a team leading 3-1 in the final series. And of course, the only time that was overturned, there was a LeBron James in the picture.
2016.
Cavaliers in 2016.
Cavaliers.
And unfortunately, LeBron is not playing for the Heat, so perhaps I don't even see that one happening. But I think it has played out. It has played out to the script, really. The way it all started, a lot of persons, even we here, fancy the Lakers to get the job done. I was thinking they would have done it in 4, but unfortunately they've stretched it up until this point. It's the 5th game now we are going to be seeing, and I think they are going to get it done this time. The Heat, yes, they've tried, they've given their best. They didn't make it so easy for the Lakers. Game 1, game 2 had their struggles. Some of their best out. Jimmy Butler in the first and second game only got to his best in the third game, and of course that was practically the game of his life, where he had 14 points and about 13 assists in that one. So massive for the man, and of course I think generally the Miami Heat will just tell themselves it's good to be here. We've done the best we can. I'm not ruling them out completely. They could give us a shocker. I won't be surprised if they get a victory in the early hours of tomorrow morning now, because they've shown us before that they can do it. They just matter of the Lakers having a bad day, and I think that's their best shot at this. No disrespect to them, but I think if they are going to win this one, it will be down to the Lakers having a bad day as against the brilliance of the Heat. Because if it's just down to the brilliance of the Heat, and of course the Lakers also bring their A game, both teams definitely, you want to say the Lakers are definitely going to be ahead of them. But this night, I'll just hope for the best. I want to see cracking basketball, not easy going for any of them. Although my money definitely
will be on the Lakers.
Is on the Lakers.
Which team do you support in the NBA?
I don't support any of the teams really.
Okay.
I'm a free thinker, so to speak. In that light.
Okay.
Anybody who I like, but I'm a huge fan of LeBron. I've always been. So you can understand why I'm quite leaning to the Lakers. But it doesn't mean because actual quality. Even Danny Green is enough to even stand toe to toe with whatever you have in the Heat. They've got all the big boys you can think about. Anthony Davis and LeBron James are enough to even play basketball. The two of them alone, but it's a huge one that they've been able to. That's the Heat now, been able to play this good. But look at the quality in that Lakers side. It's tough to see how it happens. How do you stop Anthony Davis? How do you stop Anthony Davis now from doing what he did the last time? They managed to do it in game 3, but you can't stop that man for too long. He's definitely going to come to the party. Bam Adebayo came in the last time. It didn't work out as planned. Yes, the Lakers managed to squeeze their way past that one. It wasn't the easiest of victories for them. Somehow they grinded out that result in the final seconds of that game. I'm thinking this time around, it could be similar, end-to-end stuff, very close, decided in the last quarter. But I think in the end, the Lakers should get this done. It's one victory that has stayed too long.
All right, quickly to you, Reliance. Currently, who is more worthy of the NBA Final MVP award between Anthony Davis and LeBron James?
You just me to ask that question, right? Wisdom. It's a close call between LeBron James and Anthony Davis. They've both been quite brilliant, since the beginning of the playoffs, even from the beginning of the seeding games. They've supported each other thus far. LeBron James being offensive, having the complement of Anthony Davis in the defensive, and each time Anthony Davis surges forward, you have LeBron James, doing the defensive duties, and then a couple of maybe Nick or Pope coming into the picture as well to assist in creating as well as defensive duties. Now, if you ask me, many persons are calling for Anthony Davis to be given, and I understand where they are coming from. Like I mentioned last weekend on the show, that what Anthony Davis does defensively is being overshadowed by what he does offensively. The man is just that plug that LeBron James needed. All right, everything that LeBron James has done, it's courtesy of the support coming in from Anthony Davis, because if you didn't have an Anthony Davis, at your support, then you understand where the downfall will come from. If you don't really understand, then you can ask Kawhi Leonard when he didn't have, Paul George at his best to support him. So that is where people are coming from. People are like, Anthony Davis is the neck, while LeBron James is just the head. And now, in the absence of Anthony Davis being very mobile and very supportive, but probably LeBron James wouldn't have done everything he's doing. But if you want to look at the numbers, Wisdom, in the last 10 games, this man has only recorded a below 20-point performance once, LeBron James. Look at the number of assists he's dropping. Look at the number of rebounds he's dropping. Then consider the number of triple-doubles he has had since the beginning of this series. You understand where it's coming from.
But Anthony is putting in the numbers as well.
Anthony is putting in the numbers,
even more.
Not as quite as impressive as LeBron is doing. Now, in the last 10 games, Anthony has had 2 below 20 points games. And then the number of assists dropped by Anthony is not as impressive as that as LeBron James. So I think it's going to be boiled down to votes, just like we had for the regular season, where many persons, voted in favor of what's his name now? Giannis Antetokounmpo of the Milwaukee Bucks ahead of LeBron James, where he came second. He had only 16 of the first place votes. You know what that means, because the first place votes gives you the advantage over whoever is competing against you in that series or in the competition. So it's going to boil down to votes. People will come out to vote, and then they will decide, the game. It's leading the NBA right now in number of assists drop. He has toppled the number since the last time I checked was 684, and I'm quite certain that right now we should be talking about close to 7, if not more than 700 or close to 800 or thereabout. So it's not just doing it, offensively, dropping the numbers as well, but he's also contributing massively defensively, and also creating for his team, the Lakers. Whatever is being done, what if to LeBron James? With the support coming in from Anthony Davis, you cannot play down that. But I think for me, it still boils down to that man, LeBron James.
All right, just one pick from you, Nathaniel. Lakers or Miami Heat tonight?
Miami.
Well, we are not new to seeing strange things in female tennis. And you won't believe it, but to put it in clear perspective, or to make it even more open, world number 54 played against world number 131 in the final, and she will be up against Sophia Kenin. Well, let's just take a listen to her. It's good to draw from her excitement. Well, what's ahead of her? It's not too big, but it's actually big, and it's
who's playing better under pressure. So if I'm not gonna choke up, I think everything will be fine. But there's a reason why I was so efficient, because really I'm staying super focused, and I'm not letting my opponents to play their best tennis. So I hope I'm gonna do that on Saturday, but it's gonna be pretty tough. That's why, I know they're both great players, so really I have no expectations, and I don't care if I'm gonna lose or win. I'm gonna just play my best tennis, and finally is also a great result, so I have really no pressure.
All right, she has no pressure, but one person who has tasted glory in the Grand Slam in the past is Sophia Kenin. She's the Australian Open champion. She saved 10 break points to actually beat Petra Kvitova, a woman I love so much, who had to pay the price for making 31 unforced errors on a windy court in Philippe Chatrier. Let's take a listen to Sophia Kenin.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. She's such a tough player. She's got a great aggressive game, a huge serve. So I knew I needed to bring my great game in order to win. And yeah, I'm just super proud of myself.
So by tomorrow, they would have dropped all the excitement and faced the business of winning the French. See Stefano Tsitsipas attempt to strike another blow for the next generation when he plays world number 1 Novak Djokovic in the semi-finals. And also currently in front of our screens, Argentine Diego Schwartzman squaring up against defending champion Rafael Nadal. Schwartzman, if you're hearing me, whatever me wisdom, I'll clap for you. Good man.
Because looking at what Swiatek have done for the past, in short, since the first game of the French Open, the way she has been bundling out all her opponents is just so magnificent. Simona Halep has informed as he is.
Crashed on her feet.
6-1-6.
Come on.
It was
Straight sex.
It was an insult.
So they're the best. They're the best. They're the best to be here. Look at a Kvitova that I even thought.
Kvitova that I thought
she will be the winner.
It happens.
Was swapped out, so they're the best for me.
Are you tipping her to win this one, or you think Sophia Kenin can actually take it at the end of the day?
Well, I think it's going to be.
Sophia is bigger than her based on the past.
Yeah, bigger.
And based on rankings.
And based on the rankings,
she's ranked 6.
A Grand Slam one too, yes.
Yeah.
Although based on head-to-head, Swiatek is ahead because Swiatek actually defeated her in the Roland Garros in 20 quite some formidable opponents. Although he did, Halep that defeated her very completely.
That the number of clear-cut victories that he has had and the number of French Open titles he has won. The last 12 semi-finals he has gotten to, he has won all of them. You understand why he has also won this particular French Open for 12 times. Mandate to Rafael Nadal in the Italian Open just before this one could be counted as a flash, in the pan, because time for Diego Schwartzman and economics, unlike the likes of he came back a bit rusty, if you ask me, happening right there. So there's no doubts, there's no question about who will be the favorite. I want to believe that the aggressiveness and the technique of this man, Rafael Nadal, he wouldn't want to allow Diego Schwartzman to inflict that defeat again on him, just like it happened in the Italian Open. And considering the fact that he's also looking at extending the record of number of French Open he has won, he wouldn't want to, lose sight of the trophy ahead of him. Diego Schwartzman might drag him to maybe the fourth set or the fifth set, as the case may be, but it's difficult for you to close your eyes, especially in the French Open. So I tip Rafael Nadal to go through to the finals.
All right, this one is going wisdom. It's going to be a blowout. Rafael will deal with Schwartzman. He's already dealing with him.
He's already dealing with him, my brother. If I just see 6, I think you can actually reach us. We are not only getting analysis 339-962. Who do you think will win the French Open and in the male and female category? What's your predictions for tonight's game between Nigeria and Algeria?
Diego Schwartzman makes it 3-2 from 3-1 in the second set.
And that is going to be 6-2. but let's just give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's move on in the ladies category. Nathaniel, just one name.
Iga
Swiatek.
Yeah.
For the male category,
Nadal.
Reliance
category. Sophia Kenin.
Good. Ooh. You're a good man. Dubem.
Iga Swiatek, I've sent that before for the females, and Rafael Nadal for the male.
All right. We'll get your own prediction and thoughts, but one thing we know for sure is that in the female category, we'll have a new French Open champion, someone who has never tested the French Open in the past. Let's talk about the Super Eagles.
We dey shoot, we dey push, we dey show them they fall out, we dey. Walele, where you dey? Walele, my brother,
Nigeria's head coach Gernot Rohr says 8 new players that have been called up for the first time, and Rohr revealed that Porto fullback Sanusi will definitely start at the left back position to nullify the threat midfield sensation Paul. Well, we'll come to the probable lineup because I'm sure we are seeing lineups online, but until the game, most times you don't get to believe some of these things. But I'll start with you, Dubem. The biggest problem now, or maybe the perceived big problem, is the absence of most expensive Nigerian player of all time, talking about Victor Osimhen. It's a friendly game, but can Paul Onuachu or Cyril Dessers or Ahmed Musa or Kelechi Iheanacho be a nice replacement?
First, I don't think that's the biggest problem because Osimhen has not really been the soul of the Super Eagles this current set. It's been more of the midfield that's been the engine room, and I can't take it away from Wilfred Onyendidi. He's been the driving force, more like the balancing effect in that team, and his work in that team is though unannounced most times, but it's been massive. And of course, the goalkeeping department, you can't look further than that place. Uzoho, yes, has had his ups and downs, but he's been quite effective in the few games he's played for the Super Eagles. So I think missing out showed us that he could be the man to rely on. But I mean, we've got Paulo Nachu and an untested Seodesa, never played for us anyways, and you have Iheanacho as well, who though is not doing so well for it's possible you find him starting today. I won't be surprised if Kelechi.
We have seen a lineup according to Complete Sports, but we'll get to that. Just round up.
I think generally it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Probably start the lanky man now, Paulo Nachu, as the forward, because he looks like the most informed, or he is the most informed striker as far as Nigerian strikers are concerned. He's even more informed than Victor Osimhen himself.
And that's the big question. Anyway, just finish.
So if it's based on that, he should get a starting shirt. But in the national team, it's not just about your club form. I mean, we've seen it so many times with national teams around the world. I mean, 2 days ago we saw Kepa in goal for Spain. It doesn't even keep.
And he's an
outcast in his club. Giroud is what your national team coach wants to implement. Are you the kind of player that will fit into his style? So if the coach thinks Paulo Nachu is that man that can fit in, good and fine. But aside that, I would think. Well, any of the three could go really, Iheanacho or Paulo.
Time that if I was Gernot Raw, I would throw every record throw it out of the window.
Is it the actual starting lineup or a probable one?
Probable one, really.
Okay.
Any surprises?
Well, any surprise? Let me see if I can get my hands on the list again. Alex Iwobi, Frank Onyeka, Samuel Chukwueze, Samuel Ajayi, Samuel Carlo, Paulo Nachu. Well, wisdom, truth be told, we have lots of new guys. Think 6 or 8 of them, new invitees to the Super Eagles squad. And in the absence of Alex,
Victor
Osimhen, who for me is the engine room of that midfield, and also in the absence of Victor Osimhen, Chidibem was spot on when he said he hasn't really been the soul of the Eagles, because I look at the list, in the absence of him, who is the next out and out striker that we have? I think it's only one person, which is Paulo Nachu. Kelechi Iheanacho is more of a supportive striker. Cyril Desa, well, is he out and out as much as Onuachu and Osimhen? I think so. But the competition will just be between those ones in attack. In the attacking lineup, we are spoiled for options. We don't have battles, in the attacking lineup. We can combine anyone. I might even want to see Chidera Ejuke, start for the Super Eagles, who has, playing these days for CSKA Moscow in Russia. You recall how he dazzled, in the past with his former club, in the Eredivisie or so. So there are options. Moses Simon is there. And then you come back to the midfield and the defense. This is where you might want to look at, how do you rotate the squad? You just have 2 friendly matches and you've had a couple of new invitees, and how do you make them fit in? Who is going to sit out both friendly matches and who's going to start for the Eagles? These are questions that Genora will have to answer and decide. So will I be surprised if this lineup eventually becomes a regional surprise? No. Reason being that, first off, there are new invitees in the team, and Genora should look at how to rotate and find form or find a fix, so to speak, in the defense as well as the midfield. Is a part of the list?
No, he pulled out.
It's not part of the list. He pulled out. These are regular midfielders that we know. Maybe friend Didi, Etebo, but in their absence, how are you going to rotate the midfield? Because he also give him as proper, or in a tournament proper. I think we just observe and see what happens. But the critics for General continues, doesn't it? How do you rotate the team? How do you manage the game and all that? These are areas that he has had question marks from quarters that are criticizing, him as a coach. So has there been any improvement on those areas, on those weak points, even with the complement of new players in the squad? These are the things we're going to watch out for when
game starts.
When the game kicks off properly.
All right, Nathi Nach. I saw that on your cap. Nathaniel, what are you expecting in tonight's game?
Actually, that Victor Osimhen is not in that not in the squad. It's a better opportunity for the likes of Siridesas and Paulo Nachu to try to cement their place in the Super Eagles squad, at least to give that a bit of
competition.
Yes, competition. That yes, I'm there. without Osimhen, things can go on. It needs to do a lot of, at least prove people wrong. It's not that, though he has done it in his club, they've been fantastic with their clubs, no doubt. But when it comes to the Super Eagles, they've not really done anything very good. So they need to do a lot of, at least.
I think in the goalkeeping department, I'll be looking out for that. What exactly happens if Maduka Okoye is actually starting? I would hope that other keepers are given a chance, other goalies now, especially with these two friendlies. It's a friendly game, so you can bring in as
first
many,
half, second half.
Exactly. So if we could see two goalkeepers in this game, I think it would be good because we need to see what they can do, especially that man, Dele Ampassu. He's been a man everybody has been clamoring for. It will be unfair if we don't get to see him in either of the games. If Dele is going to be taking on the next game, good and fine, because it looks like Maduka Okoye is almost setting up to start in that squad. In this squad now, not
1-0810-951-0951. I'll take it again. 0817-0000-951. 0810-951-0951. Alternatively, you can send us a message to 070151. My handle is at wisdom_OB. That is at wisdom_OB. The classical gentleman is here. That's Reliable Reliance. His handle is at Reliable Rely. Today's Sports Live. Good afternoon. We lost that one. Today's Sports Live. Good afternoon. It's important for the truth.
For their club. Make the plans, why. Make the plans small. But I give Nigeria 2-0.
Oh, you give Nigeria 2-0 too?
Yes, make the rush, make the no keep yourself.
You're a good man. I like you. If they don't win too now, you could talk about Today's Sports Live. Good afternoon.
Yes, I bring you greetings from
Obina. Welcome to the show. Super Eagles and Roland Garros, the French Open,
and NBA.
They normally give the updates these days because it's raining fire and brimstone at their camp there. That's why I'm asking.
Pina, go ahead with your contribution.
For today's match, Obina, believe you me, we the MPFS stakeholders, we will be watching this match while having our visual meeting. We want to fold our arms, and even though Gametro has come with his normal antics to tell us that he's taking and he wants to try out new players,
all right,
we are not expecting anything from him.
All right, Obina, thank you so much for your thought. Today's Sports Live, good afternoon.
My name is Ekene.
Ekene, welcome to the show.
It's about to mock that player. This one. And every time, this my man asked about another question for about Liverpool.
No, wait, Ekene, 1 minute. Today's Sports Live, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Please, I want to ask a question concerning the Super Eagles match tonight. Don't want to wear white today. Let us wear our green and no white. If you wear white, we will lose that match. No white. Nigeria is not white.
What's your prediction for the game?
We win 2-0.
2-0. Okay, in favor of Nigeria. Thank you so much for
outside the white.
Today's Sports Live, good afternoon. Hello. Good afternoon.
I want we don't settle on all what we want. We will collect 3 points.
I used to call you elder because your advice is always, Welcome to the show, Simon.
I'm an elder.
Welcome, Simon.
Talk about our.
Hello.
It's
over.
It's over. I was alerting you about that.
6363. It's done and dusted. And he's taking short man to the cleaner.
It was going to be to hover over the desert foxes of Algeria and pay them back.
I really appreciate you for that.
Of today's Sports Life. Until then, stay tuned to this dial, Today FM 95.
Today, 95.1 FM. Port Harcourt. News update.
Good afternoon. Here's the news of practices like vote buying, intimidation, and
if this woman enter this car, I go drop from this car. Driver, I go pay you.